So here we have my Grizzly model 891 spiral cutter head planer that has had problems with skipping feed rollers. Now Grizzly sent me some parts, a replacement chain and some sprockets to try and fix the issue. That didn't fix the issue, so they have now sent me a replacement planer. So in this video we're going to do an unboxing and reboxing video because I got to save this box and send back the old planer. So I'm joined in this video by my lovely assistant and daughter Alicia, who's starting to do the unboxing. We're just going to start with getting the lid off. We've got to try not to break the crate because I need to reuse the crate to send it back. So we'll speed up the unboxing process here with a little bit of time-lapse. This is my first experiment with time-lapse photography, at least with this new toy. We've recorded this video using a DJI Osmo Mobile 3, which is a great toy. So here we are, fairly carefully taking the crate apart, popping a few nails out, undoing a few screws, so that we can reuse that crate to send the old planer back to Grizzly once we complete this process. So the crate is open. We think we've been mostly able to save all the pieces so that we can use them to recrate. So inside the box we have a couple of other boxes. So let's see what we have in those. Okay, inside that box we have a series of parts. Obviously the dust hood comes with the necessary tools for assembly. Looks like it includes a few extra of the carbide cutter heads, the crank wheel, and of course instructions. Now some of this stuff, I think what I'll do is I'll leave the original so I can send them back a mostly new machine where I can, and I'll reuse some of the parts we got from the first planer. So I think, Alicia, what we'll do is we'll probably leave those are the tables.
Okay.
We'll leave those in the box, and we'll just use the tables from the existing planer.
Okay, and just return the tables in the boxes. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Oh, something I bought for the original planer but haven't put into service yet is this mobile base. So I think given that we're going to have to be moving around two planers at this point, maybe we'll start by putting this mobile base together. So switching back to time-lapse, we will show you the process of putting together this ShopFox mobile base. I bought this on Amazon for, I think, just over $70. And I've had this base in the past. I had it on a previous table saw. Enough time has passed that I forgot what a giant pain in the butt this thing is to put together. The instructions are terrible. We had to do things about 3 times. But in the end, managed to get things put together. And I will say that once put together, it's a nice solid base that's fairly easy to move even with a heavy machine. So the mobile base is all together. It was a giant pain in the butt. We did it wrong partway through and had to take half of it apart, put it back together. Anyway, it is together. And so we've got it oriented kind of a long way. Put it on the floor. And we'll put it, lock down the casters so that it won't move around. And then next we've got to set this on the mobile base. All right, let's see if we can get this thing on the mobile base. I'm going to rock it one way, Alicia. You just slide the strap under it as I rock it to one side.
There you go.
And then the same thing the other way.
There you go.
Okay, you got it? Now we take it aside. And you can put your hands through the little loops.
Yep.
And generally lower down is better, easier. You'll get better leverage.
Okay.
Because you lift more with your legs. Right? See how I got it down. You ready?
Yeah, twisted. Second. There you go. Okay.
Oh. Can you do it?
Oh, no. I don't know if I can.
Here, put the strap more in the middle so I get more in the way. Alright, you okay?
Yep.
Almost there.
To that side. Okay.
now we're going to have to do the same thing in reverse. Rock it this way.
There you go. Okay, one
Rock
side.
it that way.
And the other strap is done. Ta-da! That went well.
So rather than use the new parts, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the parts off the old planer and put them on the new planer so that we can send nice new parts back to Grizzly. So we've already got the dust chute off and the crank handle off, and now we're going to take off the tables. We've got the new planer in place on the mobile base. The old planer is on the pallet, ready for us to start packing it up. But now let's finish up getting this planer set up. The next step is for us to put on these tables. You can help me. And it is handy to have a helper. The first time I did this by myself and managed not to kill myself by dropping this on my head, but it is easier if you got somebody with you.
It's over here.
Not very graceful, but
I never claimed to be.
there we go. All right, there's one snug. That's good.
All right, there you go.
Stop that. See when we look underneath, but just to show you what there's 3 of these standard hex bolts, and then 3 of these little tensioning screws. These are what you use to level the table. Yeah. Okay, so the trick is you want to get to this table so it's flush to the main base of the planer. I use a straight edge to make sure that we get everything all lined up nice and smooth. We'll get it flush first, and we'll tighten up the 3 hex bolts, and then these go in, and that's what you use to adjust the tilt of the table back and forth. So I've got it level at the front edge, but you'll notice if you stick a straight edge and hold it tight to the base of the planer, you got a gap out here at the edge. So what we're going to have to do is loosen up those hex bolts a little bit, and then use the set screws that have an Allen key until the table pivots up so it's level. The bolts loosened up a little bit now. This takes some trial and error really to get both the angle of the table right. And as I crank the set screw underneath, I got an Allen wrench in the end of the set screw that you can't see underneath. We'll give you another shot when we do the other table. You can see as I turn that up, I'm looking for that gap to go to 0. And then just knock the table up from underneath to get it flush. And as long as I'm flush and level in the middle, that's pretty good. I'll tighten up the center one now, the center hex head bolt. And you might find this frustrating. It'll take some futzing around to get it right. That's actually pretty good out there already. Hex head again. That looks pretty good. Looking up underneath that table, I've got it all adjusted. You see that the hex heads are higher, and then you see these little set screws that I use the Allen key to adjust the angle on the table. Table all together and leveled. This is what I like to use for the surfaces of my machines. It keeps them from getting rusty, and it also has it lets the
material slides pretty effectively. It doesn't seem to damage finishes too much. So I just write this on all of the sliding surfaces of the table. Prevent rust buildup. Keep it nice and clean. And it also makes your parts slide really well. So we're going to put the hand crank on. There's a little tiny key goes on the shaft. That's in your parts. And then that goes on here. And we'll do the nut. There's the nut. And there's a washer already on there that was stuck to the hand crank. There we go. It's very easy to raise and lower. While I was futzing with the tables, Alicia got the dust hood put on, and we're pretty much ready to roll. However, the next thing that they want you to check is the oil level in this gearbox. So there's a little plug in here that I'm going to take out, and we're going to check the oil level of the gearbox. Okay, so the way I put oil in this thing is I fill a syringe and squirt it into that gearbox. And then what you want to do is go back and clean off your Allen key, stick that in there, and see if the tip of it is wet, which it now is. So we have enough oil in the gearbox. With the case filled up, put this little drain plug back in, which is awkward when you have big hands. To test it out, and I've just got a scrap piece of cedar that I'm going to do, and before I go to the planer, you typically will joint one face and one edge of a board, so I'll do that here. Turn on the dust collection. I need to fix the safety guard on my jointer. That's bad. Don't use a jointer like that. Okay, so now we want to test the planer. Now, come here, Alicia, so you can see this. The planer I had was skipping on the feed rollers. Now, normally you would put this cover back on before use, but I actually want to be able to see this so I can see if my skipping feed roller issue is recurring with this model as well. Obviously, I'm hoping that the replacement they sent me doesn't do that. I'm going to connect my dust collector. Turn the dust collection system on. Crank this down to about the right height. Actually plug in the machine. Unlock the stop mechanism. One board, but that was promising. The tension on this chain looked better than it did on the previous model, where this chain was loose and it would skip. So it's not doing that. You can see that the surface finish on the board is excellent. These carbide cover heads, they're quiet, they cut beautifully. So obviously we got to run a few more boards through it, but I'd say it looks promising. So without working, you can put this cover back where it should be, just safely covering those chains. And then we can begin the process of boxing up the old planer.